Hi everyone, Chantal here. Good to see you. I haven't posted a YouTube video or made one in years. And I've been wanting to start up again, but I was just never ready. And today I was like, you know what, you're gonna do it today. You're gonna do it today. A few weeks ago, I was telling myself, listen, let's just start making videos on a Sunday. Can we do that, please? And so forgive me today if I fall over my words and I sound a little bit silly and make no sense. But I had forgotten just how awkward and how uncomfortable and nerve-wracking and all the preparation that actually needs to go into making a video. Because my content that I had made previously was all about spirituality. That was the basis of my content, and I would like to continue with that. So this morning I wrote down a phrase, and it goes to say, God wants to know every detail of your life. So now, as a Christian, someone who was raised Christian, um, I was raised to believe, or I believed, that when we speak with God, we only speak about, what we want, thanks and praise, adoration, and, asking for certain things. Never have I had the concept of actually sitting and talking to God and telling Him everything, you know. But then I thought, but God already knows all these things about us. He knows what we think, He knows what we do, He knows what we say, how we act, even when no one is around. And so why not talk to Him about it? I then thought a bit further and I thought to myself, but wait, what is the definition of communion? Now, I went and I looked up the definition of communion, and there are two definitions, which I actually wrote down, so bear with me. So the first one is the service of Christian worship at which bread and wine are consecrated and shared. And that is how I knew communion to be, that was the only definition for communion that I knew for many years. But then 13 years ago, I came to realize that actually, no, that is not the only definition for communion. Because then I realized the next one, the next definition, which is the sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings, especially on a mental or spiritual level. So that tells me that I can tell God everything, my deepest, darkest of secrets, my deepest, darkest of fears. I can tell him all of that because that, in fact, is communion. And it's interesting that a lot of Christians, myself included, for a very, very long time, didn't think or perceive this way of communion, of communication with God. He is this higher power, and we are subservient to Him, and only certain things can be spoken with Him. But in fact, it's the other way around. I remember many years ago when I told my husband that I pray and I speak to God about everything, right? Everything. And he was like, really? Everything? I'm like, yes, I speak to him about everything. And he laughed. I said, yeah, whatever is bothering me, whatever is not bothering me, whatever. There was a time a while back when a very close friend of mine, very good friend of mine, lost her husband tragically, and her pain was so palpable that I carried it with her. And I remember during that time period, I was fighting with God. I was arguing. I was questioning why, nights on end, while I'm in the bath, while I'm in bed, while I'm on my knees. I could not understand. And for a lot of people, this would be wrong, not questioning God. You shouldn't question God. And but then I'm reminded that you are allowed to lament, because that's the whole point. There's a very famous, well-known hymn that says, "Jesus is my dearest friend." And my concept of a friend, is someone that I can exchange intimate thoughts and feelings with. I can exchange intimate thoughts and feelings um, about things that I wouldn't others, right? And so I'm very blessed to have friends like those. But if I can have that kind of deep conversations with friends, with humans, then surely I can have it with God. The thing is, it's not just about Him knowing. Yes, He knows. He knows what we think. He knows what we do. He knows all of those things. But it's more than that. It's about coming to Him and saying, listen, I'm struggling with this. I'm powerless over this. I actually don't know how to do this. I don't know how to actually, in fact, I can't manage it. For many years, I tried to manage my own life, and it was a complete disaster. And so, for me to go on my knees, or anyone to go on their knees and say, listen, this is out of my control. I cannot do this. Or I'm really frustrated. Or this is really, really hurting me right now. Yes, He may know, but it's about taking that step forward. It's about taking that step in humility. It's about taking that step in willingness to say, not my will, but your will be done. And that's the thing that's a very important aspect about, spirituality or religion, is very often we would have the praise and we'd have the worship and we have all those things and we do good things, but never is there a time for truth, real truth. I mean, you shouldn't say real truth, but actual heart to heart. This is actually how I feel, God. I'm pretty angry with you. I'm pretty angry with you, and this is why I'm angry. And even though it may sound or look like rebellion, it is actually an act of saying, I'm angry with you, okay? But I'm also powerless over this, and I actually don't know how to do this. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to fix this. Can you do it, please? Because at the end of the day, despite my anger, despite my hurt, despite my pain, I am still recognizing that you and you alone can actually fix this. And not just fix it, but fix it way better than I ever could have. Well, I probably would have messed it up, whatever the situation is, but that you can actually have this turn out to something that beyond my wildest dreams. So no, speaking to God about everything is not sacrilege. It is not rebellion. It's about communion. Communicating my feelings, my thoughts, my behavior, and telling Him, this is where I'm at. But I also know for sure that you are the only one that can steer me in the right direction. And even though this is happening, because prayer should always end this way, even though this is happening and I don't like it, at the end of it, your will and not my will be done. If I don't talk to God about everything, then I try to manage some of the things. I give Him like some of it, and I can manage this, you take that. But the moment I give all of it and ask Him to manage it, and also add your will and not my will be done, then I can rest assured. Then if God is the King or God is the Father and I am His child, then all I have to do, all we have to do is play. We're telling our parents this is the story, leave it at their door, and we play. And that is the beauty of communion with God. It goes so much more, it's so much further than just sharing, breaking bread and drinking wine. It's actually exchanging intimate thoughts. And I want to come back with my next video, specifically zoning in on that exchanging of intimate thoughts and feelings. Thank you so much. Please follow me on YouTube. Please follow me on TikTok. And thanks for listening to me. Bye.